How do we go from 0 subscribers all the way to 1,000 subscribers for our podcast? That's the question that we all have when we just get started with podcasting. That's the question that I had when I started many years ago. And that's why I decided to address that today. And I created this chart for you, and it's gonna lay out the roadmap for you on how to get from 0 people or 2 or 3 all the way to having 1,000 subscribers, and not a bunch of randos on the internet just subscribing to your show. No, it's 1,000 subscribers that are very happy that you're there every week, that are part of your community, that will be the foundation for you to keep growing your show. And this is one of the fears that we all have when we get started, is that we are not going to have anybody there waiting for our episodes that we put so much work into. And also that we're just going to get stuck with just having the same number of people showing up every week. That carries a little bit of shame, because I know that you have your friends and family checking on you and your new show. And then they see that the numbers are not growing. So what are you doing? And you're wasting your time. So all of those fears, they're valid, and we're going to get rid of them. And I'm going to show you how. First, how do you go from 0 to 10? Oh, but before we get into that, welcome to Yap Your Way. I'm Veronica. I'm one of the creators of Podcast Your Way. If you're interested in launch your show and you need a producer, if you need a platform that will help you get all the way from idea to having your first episode published on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on YouTube, then go to podcastyourway.com. You can start for free. You can create your show kit and have a show page that you can share with your friends and your family. And I'm going to talk about the show kit and the show page as we go down the path to 1,000 subscribers. So let me just get comfortable here. So the first thing that you're going to do to go from 0 to 10, and this is super easy, this is a no-brainer, you are going to tell real people about your show. You're going to tap into your inner circle. You're going to tell your friends, your family, your followers. If you have followers on social media, I'm sure you have Instagram, you have TikTok, you have Facebook. You're going to let people know that you have a show or that you are launching a show. So they are your first 10 people, and that's your assignment. We have inside Podcast Your Way, we have something really cool that you can tap into, and it's absolutely free. You can start right now, and that is the show kit. You go through the steps of creating your show kit, which is pretty much the concept, the title of the show, the description, the cover art. And after you've gone through creating your show kit, then Podcast Your Way creates a show page that you can share with people, that you can share with your boss, that you can share with your coworkers, and they'll be able to see what your podcast idea is about. They'll be able to see your podcast cover. They'll be able to vote on episodes, on future episodes that you can create. And they can also leave you messages of support. You have to tap into that support when you're starting as a creator. And don't be shy. Don't carry any shame about this project. This is your baby. This is your baby. And then we're going to share with the world, and we're going to start with our inner circle. So once you get to 10 people, which I guarantee you, if you tap into these people and if you tell them, okay, now your assignment is for you to share with 10 more people, you'll get to 10 pretty quickly. What from there? What are we going to do? Well, important for this is to have a clear promise. And this is something that will help you develop inside Podcast Your Way too. You need to be clear on what your show does for people. You need to be clear on what is it that your audience, every week they show up, they listen, they watch you. What are they walking away with? What kind of information, what kind of transformation? And you need to be clear on this. Because what I've seen with some creators is that they start making episodes about, let's say, Latin American cooking, and then they switch and they talk about finances, and then they switch and they talk about makeup, and they are talking about different things. So it makes it really hard for somebody who's just tuning in to one episode, and let's say that they really enjoy that episode about Latin American cooking, and then the next episode you're talking about makeup. So they are confused as far as what the show is about and what it provides. So giving that clarity and showing showing up consistently every week, and then you have this sentence, we call it the elevator pitch, and that elevator pitch, you are going to say it every single episode. This episode is about Latin American cooking and how you can show your friends about your culture through your cooking or something along those lines. And then you also add a CTA, which is a call to action. Subscribe to the show. I'm here every week. And that's how you get to go from 10 to 50 subscribers. Mark my words. Then, what do we do to get from 50 episodes to 100 episodes? This one is very important, is one of my favorites. When you start creating to be continue episodes. So for example, you have an episode about Latin American cooking, and then one episode is about all the baked goods. If I'm talking about Colombia, I'm talking about like the delicious things that they bake there. The pan con queso, the acema. And then you want to tune in for the next episode, because the next one I'm going to be talking about something completely different. Soups. I'm going to be talking about the different soups that we have in Colombia and how you make those soups and all of that. So see how those episodes will be connected because they're under the same umbrella. And when you start repeating those type of episodes, people listen to one episode or watch one episode, and then they would want to come back next week and watch the next episode because you already announced that that's going to happen. And that is going to take you, once again, further down the road to your 100 subscribers. And it's like you are showing up every week, and then you're giving them a reason to come back the following week. And also you're adding your CTA of, hey, subscribe to my channel, follow the podcast, and also share this episode with a friend. Don't forget that. Mark my words. And I don't know why I'm saying mark my words so many times, but mark my words that if you need to ask your audience what to do and how to support you. And this is a way that they can do so, is by sharing your show. And then how do you go from 50 to 100? This is a favorite of mine. And we show you how to do this inside Podcast Your Way. How do you turn your episodes into clips? Because you will be recording, let's say, an episode that is 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And inside that time, you're going to be dropping some gems. You're going to be dropping some wisdom that is those segments that can be 30 seconds or up to a minute. They will be clippable. You can repurpose those and post them as a YouTube short. You can post them on TikTok. You can post them on Instagram, and that will create more awareness, and you will be reaching and tapping into other audiences. And that's how you will grow from 100 to 250. The key here is to develop a workflow that is going to allow you to do this without adding more time to your production. And we show you this inside Podcast Your Way as well. So then how do you go from 100 to 250? And that is where you start collaborating. And collaborations are super fun. That is something that we did when we started our show. And you can invite people to your show. You can interview people, you can reach out to other shows in the same niche, and just collaborate with other creators. And what this does is that you have your audience of 200, listeners or followers, and then that other creator has an audience of 500, then you will be presenting in front of their audience as well. And that's how you get to grow your audience too, is by collaborating with other creators here on YouTube. And also just to make sure that you grow your audiences, that you collaborate with creators that are talking about similar topics as you are talking about or sharing on your show. Super fun way, because you don't want to create in isolation. You want to include other creators into your inner circle, and you want to tap into their resources as well. And that's how you get from 250 to 500. And finally, how do you go from 500 to your 1,000? And that is like, we are going to look at what we've done so far, look at our analytics, look at what is working with our audience. At this point, you're going to have plenty of episodes that you can go back and look into their analytics and look into the comments that maybe your audience has left for you on those episodes. We're going to nerd out into analytics and see what's going on. What are the episodes that are getting people to listen to, 30 30%, 40% of the episode? What are the episodes that are getting shared, commenting on, or liking? And those are the episodes that we want to double down and share more of. And that's how you get from 500 to 1,000. But in the process of getting from 0 to 1,000, there will be some meltdowns, there will be some freakouts, there will be, I call it the valley of despair. And I'm very familiar with this, and that is something that you will go through as a creator. Like, it doesn't matter if you have 0 subscribers or you have 100,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel, which we do. And we are going to, tackle those together and based on experience. What do you do? How do you get yourself from this valley of despair that you get into as a creator? It's a very dark place to be at. So, and I'm here for you if you're going through those. Like, just leave a comment, let me know, and then we'll talk about it, because it's momentary, and what you are doing is more meaningful and important than the way that you feel about what you're doing. You know what I mean? It's the people that are waiting for you, for your message, to put together this content that is going to change their lives. Whether you believe it or not, it will. So the first drop that you're gonna get into before you even start is going to be just fixating in the little details that don't matter, which is I need a logo, I need a cover art, and it needs to be perfect. And I also need a name that rhymes with my name. And I need the name to mean all of these things and to be explicit, but encrypted, and all of the things. And then you fixate in this planning and logo and cover art and name, and you don't even get started. How do we get ourselves out of this? Once again, you broadcast. You tell people that you are starting a show, because people are going to hold you accountable, especially those around you who care about you and who are very excited that you're taking this step. Just tell people that you are doing it, and don't get hung up on the details. The details can be altered later down the road. They can be changed. You can change your logo. You can change your artwork. You can change your name. But the important thing is to get started. Another one is the equipment. And I call this the mic shopping swamp, but it should be more like the equipment shopping swamp. And this is where you spend a bunch of time watching YouTube videos, adding equipment to your Amazon shopping cart, asking questions, trying to decide whether if I should invest in a $3,000 camera and lens, or whether I should start with a webcam. You can start with whatever you have in front of you right now, and then you upgrade. So if that is something that has been stopping you from getting started, you can start with, if you have your laptop, you can use your laptop camera. You don't need to spend a bunch of money. Some of us do, because I guess we soothe through, some people soothe through cognition, as Steven says. Like, some people soothe through shopping. That's how I do that. But you don't have to get started and to get going, growing your audience. You don't need to spend a lot of money in equipment. You can start with what you have, and then you can upgrade. And then also, that's something that we do inside Podcast YourWay. So you don't waste time or money buying the equipment that is too complicated for you to manage, or equipment that doesn't live up to the quality that you want for your show. We help you everything you need in your Amazon shopping list, to the detail, to cables and dongles and thingamajingies and all of that. So that's how you get yourself out of this valley of despair. If you're too confused about equipment, just get started with what you have, and then slowly you can incorporate more equipment. And then this one is the nobody listen meltdown. We've been through this one like so many times. It's totally normal. It feels sometimes like you're just talking to the void. Like, why are people not engaging, not commenting, not subscribing? And then the way that you get yourself out of this is being very proactive and very intentional with the content that you create. The majority of times when this happened is because we've been creating content, or we've been creating episodes that is just for us. We haven't been creating episodes that are for our audience, or talking about things that our audience is interested in. We've been talking about things that we think that people are interested in, but bottom line, we've just been talking about things that interest us and ourselves, and blah blah blah, and me, and complaining. But if you take the time to find out there, what's going on, what does my audience need help with? What value can I bring? What's going on here? Because maybe I've been just like delivering something that people don't need. And that right here, the way that you get yourself out of this is just to do research, is just to get into other people's contents and go through comments and see how your audience is reacting, to get in touch with your audience. Also, if you have an active social media, you can ask your audience on social media, hey, what do you think about this episode? Or what do you need help with? This is a disconnection between you and your audience, and the way that you fix it, or the way that you get yourself out of here back into creator mode, is by engaging with your audience again. And then the algorithm conspiracy hole, that's another place that we've been at, the Valley of Despair, is that where you think that the algorithm is against you. And you're going to think that a lot. And you're going to get angry and mad. Bottom line, the platforms are there to match content with users. And if the episodes that you are creating don't have enough substance, are not clear, don't have a clear promise, then people are not going to watch those episodes, and they're not going to be suggested. So once again, the way that you get yourself out of here, of this, the algorithm hates me, is to go back to the drawing board with the content that you are creating with the episodes, and look at your analytics and see what's working and what's not working, and really listen to your audience and tap into their needs and create episodes around their needs. That's what we've been doing, and that's what has helped us climb our way out of the Valley of Despair. So I hope you found this useful. This is a new channel that we started. We go live every Wednesday at 11 a.m. from our platform, Podcast Your Way. So go to podcastyourway.com. You can sign up for free, and you can show up for our live streams for free. We also go live on YouTube, but I don't get to interact with you as much, or I don't get to see your comments because I'm here inside the platform. Make sure that you like and subscribe, and that you're here next week on Wednesday. And I'm Veronica. And go podcast.